we're standing in front of a home that beyond these doors, a true fairy tale happened. Let me share with you. There was a girl that used to ride by to school every day, and she used to look at this house longingly and wish that one day that she could live here. And that went on for years. She grew up, she went to college, she met this guy, she fell in love with him, and she married him. Well, this was his family home. So today she lives beyond these doors with her husband and 3 children. And we're going to show you what we did, because this was a family home that the husband grew up in. And it needed updated, and it needed to be more comfortable for the family to live in. So we're going to show you what we did. We think you're going to be really surprised, and we know you're going to like it. Here we are inside of this castle of the fairy tale. Not really a castle, but it's their home. And when they moved in, it needed a lot of renovation. So what we did was we kept some of the things that were just absolutely stunning with this rock fireplace. And the wormy wood beams and the mantle, we kept that too. But everything else is brand new. As we look about this room, I remember what it was. It was toys, tricycles. Basically, it was the kids' playroom. And the parents wanted a nice place, nice room to walk into for their guests. So this is what we did. First of all, we took out this wall and we put this beam in. This is a supporting beam. So we needed this. Secondly, they needed storage. They have books, they have pictures, and as we scan the room, you'll see that they're a family that loves their family. So they have a lot of pictures. But all of these shelves are lighted, and what we've done is put glass shelving in with lights above, and this was custom built, and it's absolutely exquisite. There are some elements in this room that I wanted to share with you. First of all, when we talk about space planning, what that really means is making sure that the furnishings that you're considering will fit into the room, and that includes the rug. So you draw the space out with the measurements. And what we did here, because the clients wanted to be able to see the fireplace as they chatted with their guest, was we put 2 wingback chairs with the table in between, coffee table, sofa with a little credenza, and lots of light and accessories mixed around. A little sofa table in the back kind of makes it very comfy. As we move into the foyer, they also wanted more light in the foyer. So we replaced the foyer doors that have glass in them, little bit of stained glass. And that worked beautifully too, and added some wall sconces and lighting. Next, what we did was, because the clients wanted to keep the light and airiness going and see the outside, because this property is exquisite, what we did was we just framed the window with a window treatment and put a sconce in between on the walls. So I think the space works well, don't you? In this small powder room, what we decided to do was to make this little room dynamic. So instead of painting it a light color that everybody else does, we thought, let's give it some punch. And we painted it this dark brick red that carries forth into the family room also. We decided to stencil along the top of the wall. Also what we did, new lighting, new mirror. We also treated the oak vanity. Isn't that different? And as you can see from the before shots that we put up, we've really opened up this kitchen. Well, I'll take you around to the cabinets that we took off. But first, let's talk about the large dining room table, because they have a large family and they gather here periodically, and there's enough seating for everyone. We also put a very large light fixture over the dining room table. A lot of times people just end up putting them too small. This should encompass the tables and cast light everywhere, as well as when the whole table is closed up, say for an intimate dinner of 4, it's plenty big to shine light on that too, but yet not too big. We also added the window treatments. Again, we're framing the window, but in this, we have a little something different. Because the sun comes in here so intensely in the afternoon, we decided to go ahead and use shades covered and laminated with fabric. And that's what we did, so they can go up behind the treatments should we choose. What we also did was we put a screen in the corner just to kind of fill out the corner a little bit, make something kind of whimsy. Then over here, we made a little settee, little bench that, may I show you, that the cat loves? Anyway, that's his place. But all of these window treatments go together. This is where we had cabinets, if you recall from the before pictures. We took those cabinets out. We opened up the kitchen by doing that, and we added pendant lighting. The only original thing in this kitchen is the butcher block countertop. The husband asked for it, and we kept it for him because it's in great shape. Otherwise, we've replaced all of the cabinetry, brand new countertops, new cabinet jewelry, and then what we did was we tiled the backsplash. And as we pan around this way, we also replaced the sinks, new faucets, and again, the same window treatments. One of the things that the clients brought up to us is that they wanted their children to be able to use the microwave. And at the time when we put this in, they were small. So what we did was we put the microwave down instead of over the stove because we wanted that magnificent hood. And then we put drawers so that that can be pot holders or anything else that they need. But in this way, just the right height for kids. One of the advantages to having a custom-built kitchen is that you can choose your own finishes, just as we've done with the French country finish on the cabinetry, around the sink and the stove. But over here, we built a lot of storage in a different finish. The bottom is storage, the top is shelving so that we can display items, as well as the island. That's in the same finish as this. So this French country kitchen turned out quite well. Don't you think? Getting ready to go inside this beautiful home that was built in 1825, pre-Civil War. We're going to watch how hard it is to actually strip wallpaper, 2-3 layers from plaster. And we're going to talk about how plaster was made. So let's go inside and we'll meet up with Ned, who's going to show us how it all happens. We're standing in this beautiful home today that was built in 1825. We have plaster walls and it's being refurbished. And it does have some wallpaper perhaps on there since the Civil War. We're going to find out. And I'm introducing you to Ned Marshall. He's the one he's taking off the wallpaper and doing the painting in this magnificent home. And I'd like to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
What is the difference between removing wallpaper on plaster walls as opposed to drywall walls?
Well, with plaster walls, it's a solid plaster. And it's a little bit more forgiving. You can scratch it up a little bit, it's easier to patch. With drywall, has a paper coating on the outside which you don't want to tear because it compromises the surface.
Please tell us about what they used for plaster back then.
Well, what they used first is they split oak strips to use as the latchwork. They were nailed onto the studs, and then they mixed a mixture of clay and horse's hair. You can see the hair right there.
Oh yeah.
Some of the hair to bind it together, You can see how it hangs down there by the hair. And they mix that. That's the brown coat. That went on first. That went on very thickly, and that's held on to the lathwork. They smooth that out, and then the second coat is a plaster coat, which is this white coat here, and that is can then be used to paint it or to wallpaper.
How long did it take for a wall like this to dry?
It would take us several days for this brown coat to dry, and the white coat would be a day probably.
Okay. And you really can see the horse hair in here. This is interesting.
Yeah, it's holding it all. That's what's holding all this together.
Oh my gosh, there's more.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, Ned, thank you so much. I really appreciate hearing all about the plaster, removing wallpaper on plaster as opposed to drywall. And I really appreciate you coming in today and allowing us to tour this place.
Well, thank you, Renee.
Today, we're standing in this fabulous paint store. We're going to be speaking with Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. I am so happy to be here because you have got some new products. You know, this is not paint like our granddaddy's day. These are new things going on. So I'd like for you to tell us about them.
Absolutely. There's all kinds of great new things. The older paints now, you're able to get in all the different sheens, the flat, the matte, washable flat, eggshell, satin, and semi-gloss as always. But the newer thing with the older paints is that the deeper colors don't cost as much as they used to. They now price the darker colors and the deeper bases the same as the lighter colors. So it gives people more of a chance to experiment and try new things. Then there are the newer, lower VOC paints like the Natura. And has virtually no odor to it. It has 0 VOCs. The VOCs being the volatile organic compounds that cause paint to have its smell that people don't like so much. The newer ones are great for people who have health problems, for older people, for children or pregnant women, as well as in any kind of medical office or hospital setting. And then there's the real high premium coatings they've got out now that will cover any color in 2 coats, guaranteed. No matter what the color, even the brightest reds and yellows, you're able to cover now easily in 2 coats without primer.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When you paint a red wall and you want to paint a red wall, let's say it's white. Tell me what color primer you would use.
You could use either a red primer or a primer that's been tinted towards the color red you're doing, or you could use a gray primer, which will cover the wall well and allow the red to cover over top of it more easily than with the white.
And I noticed here that you had kitchen and bathroom specifically paint for that.
Absolutely. They've got new lines of bath and spa or kitchen and bath that can be used in either room. They're satin finishes that give you a mildew resistant coating, and they're great for use in those areas.
What can you tell us about this gorgeous display of metallic paints?
There are a lot of really wonderful various colors available, multiple shades of gold, silver, bronze, and coppers. They're great as an accent for furniture, for a picture or mirror frame, for ceilings to highlight them, as well as an accent wall. Comes out really beautiful in the metallic paints.
I've used them in some of my design work, and it's gorgeous, especially the copper. Oh, it's exquisite. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about prepping. You know, we have to start somewhere when we begin to do a paint job. So let's talk about what are the first steps that we should really consider to get a quality paint job.
Preparation is half the battle. If you do your preparation right, then the paint job is going to come out looking much better and much nicer. The important thing is to make sure you have all the proper tools and to follow the plan to do the preparation right. If it needs to be spackled or compounded, if it needs to be sanded or primed, make sure you do it and do it properly. Follow the instructions on the can and make sure that you cover all your bases. That way, when you go to apply your paint, it's going to go on much smoother, nicer, and give you a much better paint job in the end. And the tools are also very important. Okay. Using the proper tools to do your job is as important as the prep. If you're working exterior or on a rougher surface, and you're rolling, you would use a thicker roller. Whereas if you are on a smoother surface, you would use a much smoother roller, perhaps for a semi-gloss or a different enamel. As far as a brush is concerned, you want to use the best possible brush, unless it's a coating that you don't want to have to clean up after, such as an oil base. Then you can use a cheaper brush. But for top coat, you should always use a good brush. For exterior, a good nylon polyester brush works very well. It holds a lot of paint and lays it out very nicely. For an oil-based paint, a natural China bristle brush generally works very well for that. It has a little bit softer tip to it, and it will lay the paint out much nicer. When you're working with trim or in corners, there's always an angle brush available in different sizes that will help you get into different areas a lot easier.
I like something in this store that I don't know if many people know about, and these are the color pots. You take these, it's a little sample. You think you might like a color, you take it home and put it on the wall. Now, how much area do these little pots cover?
They'll cover a small area, about 2 by 2, 2 by 3, where it gives you a good idea of what the color is going to look like. You can look at it at different times of the day to give you a better idea of whether it's too light, too dark, or if it's the right color.
And cost?
They run around $3.99 per sample. And if we don't have a sample in the color that you need, we do have sample pints that are available for just $1 more in any color.
Talk about mistake proof. I like this. Well, Jeff, I want to thank you so much. This has been my extreme pleasure to visit your store today. It's beautiful, and you showing us around, we totally appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Entertainers Monthly, the entertainment guide for the Eastern Panhandle and surrounding areas. Articles and interviews covering books, art, and music, and the people who create them. Every month there's a new centerfold calendar of events, and it's all free. Find out where you can get your copy or download it on macetv.net. Entertainers Monthly is published by the people who brought you the Gazette.
Documents start with people like you who have ideas to share. To bring your ideas to life, choose Sir Speedy. We understand the process of moving from ideas to documents. We have the expertise to enhance your vision and all the technology to make it happen. Whether your documents are electronic or printed, Sir Speedy's global digital network will help you create, manage, and distribute them more efficiently, wherever they need to go. Sir Speedy, we are documents.
We're here today in this beautiful little town, Shepherdstown, West Virginia, and I'm with Elaine and Harold. And I'd like to ask them a few questions. So, hello.
Hello.
All right, first of all, Harold, I'd like to know what your dream room would be. What would it look like if you could design it yourself? What would be in it?
I'd ask my wife to design it. Would have no idea.
Therefore, Elaine, how would you design his dream room?
His dream room, actually he has one at the house right now. He has a great big desk. He's got his books. He's got his great big desk. He's got his chair. And he's as happy as can be.
Now, how does she know that that's my dream house? Oh,
she must have decorated it and you liked it. Now, what would be your dream room?
I have a dream room. I have a dream house. I absolutely love everything I have there. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Now we're standing here with Eve and Joe, and they've agreed to ask some questions. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
Hi.
Describe to me what your dream room would look like.
What my dream room would look like?
What would it have in it?
Well, it really just would have to be comfortable. Nice wooden walls, comfortable couch, leather couch, big TV set, and computer access. That's all you need.
Okay. So, and that speaks luxury to you. Yes, Joe?
Well, luxury or necessity, depending on your point of view.
There you go. There you go. Eve, what would be your dream room? What would speak luxury to you?
Luxury. Well, I was going to say my dream room is the sunroom we built to add on to the house because it has windows all around. You can open them. The breeze comes through. Has this, you can see the sky through the ceiling. We have lounge chairs there and TV and some shelves for books, and that's about it.
That's right. Add one cat and it's perfect.
One cat.
One cat. You need a cat.
That's right. I am standing here today with Amy and David, and they've agreed to allow us to ask some questions. If you could decorate a room that's only your room in any way that you wanted, a man cave, that's right, what would it look like?
It would look like my office.
It would.
It would, actually.
He's a scientist. Oh,
yeah.
You're a scientist. Okay, so you enjoy that then,
Yes,
right?
yes, I do.
Okay, good. What about you, Amy?
It would be full of antiques, but it would be mixed with hardwood floors, lots and lots of poster art. I love poster art from different countries.
Framed?
Okay, framed.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yes, and easy on the colors in an office area. But a table, some space for every single activity that I have. I'm a writer, so I'd have a writing space, and I'd have a little craft space and painting space.
Great. David, what colors are in your home?
Mostly white and black.
Well, a lot of red and white and black. Yes, we love black and white photography.
Okay. David missed the red. Now, I'd like to...
Blue.
Oh,
and blue.
Too?
Blue and yellow.
Okay, and blue and yellow.
Yes, blue and yellow.
Very good. What color is in your house? What colors is your home?
Well, it's a lot of white and black. And we have, the walls are sort of tan or whitish color. Men don't even look at colors. You know that.
That's the whole general idea here.
Right.
Eve? What color?
Really what
well,
colors
we do have a lot of black and white. We also have a purple couch and a light green rug in the living room. And the rest of the rooms are some browns and some black and white.
Oh, God.
That's easy.
Brown, tan, beige.
He's right.
Beige house.
You have a beige house?
It's the whites, it's the golds, it's the creams, all
shades of beige.
All shades.
Oh, all shades of beige. Where did these phrases come from? Okay. It's raining like cats and dogs.
Ooh, I used to know that. I'm an English professor. I think I used to know where the idioms came from. I don't know that. I can't remember.
Okay. I have no idea. I really don't know. And it really sounds dumb if you want to know the truth of the matter. Can you imagine cats coming out? Dogs coming out? No, I don't think
No
so.
comment.
Well, actually, do you know where that phrase came from? Back in England and old Europe, they used to have thatched roofs. And when it rained, it got very slippery, and bugs and mice lived in there, and the cats used to be up there, and they'd fall through the roof. What about, how did the canopy bed come about?
I think it had to do with colonial times and keeping warm.
Okay. With the raining cats and dogs, remember the thatch roofs?
Oh, yes.
And the cats used to be up there, and the mice and the bugs, and it would rain, and they would fall through. So when the people slept, they didn't want bugs and cats and mice falling on them, so they made canopy beds. Let me ask you another
I
question.
know all this trivia. I mean, come on.
I'm not sure. Let me find another one from you. Okay, well, since you got that one right, tell me about the upper crust. Where did that come from?
I think that was because they could take the upper crust of the bread, and they had bread, and so they could take care of the crusts, and a lot of the rich people would cut off the crusts, I think. So they have these, what I think are horrible sandwiches, but I think the idea was that you could take the crust from whatever there was.
Okay. Eve, would you agree with that, or?
I don't know any better.
She hasn't the foggiest.
Well, that's pretty good. What happened is that when you had guests into the home, they got the upper crust. And that's where that's saying. So you were very close, Joe.
Well, upper crust is everything from the name of a bakery, a favorite bakery, to, we were just discussing this at the Yellow Brick Bank. If you want to find out who the upper crust really, really, really is, the really wealthy people in the country are hidden from view. You just don't see them. And one of the ways of telling that someone is actually extremely wealthy is to look at their Oriental rugs, because if they're worn, and frayed, they've had them for years and years, and it's a matter of pride.
When we say people are dirt poor, where did that phrase come from? Do you know?
I think it was because they had dirt floors. They couldn't afford to put a floor in. And so anybody who was so poor they couldn't afford a floor to their house had a dirt floor, and they were dirt poor. They were that poor.
Absolutely. That is the truth. That's it for today. And thank you so much, David. I'll even shake your hand if you're not too tired. And Amy?
Our next door neighbor, Jeff.
He's good. He's good. Very good. Well, thank you. I really appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And, well, thank you very much.
thank
This
you
was
very
fun. Really enjoyed it. And we'll have
Good to meet you.
I didn't, so I need to talk louder. Hi, honey. Okay. Okay. About like that. Does that sound good? Okay, good. I don't know. Is it too low? Is my voice too low? Should I make it higher? Well, now we're inside the fairy tale. And as you can see, this beautiful... I know. I'm going to talk about this room being a playroom for the kids. This is where their little trikes were and all of their toys. As we look about this room... Oh, okay. I gotcha. Okay. Go ahead. As we look about this room, next they also wanted to have some foyer. Forgive me. In this big, spacious family, in this big, spacious kitchen and dining room, I'd rather stand here because that's don't get the oven There are a few elements in this room that work really well. First of all, the clients wanted to be able to sit there and have a conversation with their guest, but also see the fireplace. Therefore, we put the sofa and the chairs facing. What?
You're talking about window treatments. I'm zooming on window treatments. You're talking about fire. You're killing me here.
All right, New
I got
York.
window treatments in
All
the
right,
camera.
New York. You're killing me here. I love that. You're killing me. We're also going to find out about plaster. How was it made back then? We're going to actually get to see some of it. We also have another show. I'm standing in front of a home that is built in 1825. That was wrong. Okay. I'm getting ready to move into this home that was built in 1825. You're going to move into there and live there? No, all right. We're just getting ready to go. Dan and I are getting ready.
Dan is going inside.
That's right. We're going to whip them into shape.